It's like, imagine being a baseball player, but as opposed to playing a whole season, you're training a whole season for one game that can end in one play, and everything that you've done for the last 3 months is all invested into that. I never thought that I'd be in the UFC, and at several points I was told that I'd never be in the UFC. I kind of came in as a filler, and in all honesty, I was supposed to be the stepping stone for Kid Yamamoto to launch into his opening the Japan show that just happened. So I remember walking out to the cage. I'm underneath that, underneath the stands, right? And they start playing, the music and stuff, and they're saying he's one of the best fighters in the world. He's fought all over. He's fought, here and there, and they start rambling stuff off, and I'm kind of in a haze, right? I'm kind of teary-eyed, right? They open up the banner, and I hear Bert Watson saying, let's go, it's showtime, do what you do, right? And I look up, and I see the video montage, and it's me that they're showing, that they're talking about. As soon as that happened, I'm not a tough guy, I just start smiling. I'm like, they're talking about me, it's about to happen. Everything that we've prepared for our whole lives are leading up to one moment, and I'm about to engage in a fight with one of the most accomplished fighters at my weight class. I just get this vibe from him, and this is exactly how I saw it in my head the whole time. Is he's gonna come out like, oh man, I'm a lot better than Darren, right? This is no problem for me. I've been experiencing that for my whole life. I was born in San Francisco, California, and grew up the early part of my life in the Mission District. Being raised by a single mom that was really aware of what her kid was doing made me hyper aware. I just knew how to observe people around me, and I guess kind of resulted in a fairly street smart kid. So growing up with a single parent in the Mission, and again, you're talking probably about a 120 pound, 115 pound, 5 foot woman, and we're living in Mission in the 80s, right? And in part of the 70s, so it's a time of Kevin Collins and all that stuff, and there's child abductions, and just a few years before that, what was the Zodiac killer or whatever. I was always a lot smaller than everybody, so as opposed to trying to be a standout, I would always just kind of try to blend in somewhere and probably not be noticed. When you're the smallest kid there, or one of the smallest kids, the psychology and the mentality of a bully is to go after the least threatening thing, and so usually that was me. So there was a lot of situations growing up where I had to deal with bullies. And the thing that was a problem at South City High School is pretty much you're going to a school that resembles a jail. One day, this guy, we'll just call him Mike, right, goes to hang me over the balcony ledge over the fence, right? And everybody would crowd around and everybody would laugh, right? So, knowing the mindset and the idea of what my mom did for me is I have to be willing for stuff to get bad for me to make a difference, right? And so when he went to grab me, I pulled an object from my pocket and hit him with it. I'll say it's a pointed object, and I don't want to go into too much detail if there was blood or not. But the result was he screamed, and he screamed like a girl. He stabbed me! Oh my God! This is like a 250 pound 11th grader and 12th grader senior in high school, right? I'm like 80, 90 pounds. And we'll say that I never got hung over another ledge after that. So looking back at my fighting career, I started in 2002 fighting in a Japanese organization called Deep. I essentially took the fight to make money for my wedding. After that fight, there was a little bit of a buzz around it, saying, okay, when are you going to fight again? You beat Rampa, who's a real famous Muay Thai fighter from Thailand. Now I got offers to fight in the WEC before Zuffa owned it, but it was for like $250. So I was like, man, $250, that won't cover gas, a hot dog, and a beer. I just worked. I worked for Alex Gong at Fairtex. I started coaching wrestling. I was like in between jobs. I was working at Nike Town doing LP work. Like, man, how the fuck did I get here? And then I got a call from Cage Combat. Signed a deal for me with Strikeforce. Dream calls me. And then Shooto calls and asks, hey, would you want to fight Katsumura? Everybody said that I'd only last 40-something seconds.
ここも鉄槌鉄槌鉄槌、そしてパウンド鉄槌パウンド、新チャンピオンピンチ、新チャンピオンピンチ、いきなりの試練だ。日米寝技対決、しかし顔面に拳を集めてくる。西が飛んだ、レフリーが止めた。
As we're going through the fight, all I can remember is just trying to show him. I'm just trying to show him as I look into his eyes, like, hey, I'm right here, dog. You know, I'm not going anywhere. And slowly, slowly, I can feel him thinking, like, okay, this kid's not moving back. And I think continuously advancing on him is what stole the fight. Looking back, it was pretty successful. I mean, not just because of the result, but you know, got I think you know, an unanimous decision. One ref gave me, or one judge gave me a 10-8 round, which is huge. I just think it's just me fighting another bully. The pointing gesture, you know, originally started because when I'd fight in Japan, you know, none of my family could really go with me, and when I fought in Dream, you know, I had family staying up. Like, all my friends stayed at my friend JoJo's house, right, up to 3 a.m. to watch it on HDNet, right? They actually got together, you know, ate, took a nap, right, and then they all woke up again at 3 a.m. And I knew they were home watching, and so I started pointing on the walkout to them. And I just wanted to like, point, saying, like, you know, I recognize you guys. In the fight with the Kid Yamamoto fight, on the walkout, I was just kind of so emotionally overwhelmed, I totally forgot about it, right? And then, you know, at the same time, this one particular fight, I think I mentioned in the last vlogs, that, you know, we had a lot of mutual friends, and, you know, more than half are rooting for him, I'll be 100% honest. And I'm not a Facebook stalker, but, you know, when people comment on each other's posts, you can see it, right? And a lot of people were saying, oh, Darren's gonna get knocked out, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to acknowledge them too, and say, hey, look, I'm doing exactly what I said I was gonna do, and exactly the opposite of what you said was gonna happen. And I'm sure that's the same thing the kid was saying, and I just wanted to kind of take a second to acknowledge that. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the cameraman looking right at me. I knew I was in a safe position, and you know, it just kind of happened. After that, though, I did get a lot of flack. My uncle was like, "Oh, you know, it was wrong for you to do that. You know, you do something like that, then you're gonna get knocked out." You know. Well, number one, I'm on the guy's back, so I've never seen anybody get knocked out when they're on somebody's back. And I didn't see that. There's me being smart ass. And it was just being in the moment, and it happened to work out well. I think it's pretty memorable. So I don't know. I think look for it in the future. You have to deal with a lot of ridicule. There's people that don't understand what you do and want to point out the negative. I think that there's people that out there that, you know, want to see people fail. A real fighter, in that sense, is always going to try to improve themselves, and so I think you'll develop as an individual that will not accept anything less than the best, and you'll develop as an individual that can overcome things and not let things hold them back. Hopefully I can do this for a long time. So thanks for checking me out. If you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter at D_Uyenoyama, or you can find me on Facebook. Yeah, oh, you can check out my gym, FTCCgym.com. Yeah, and stop on by if you're local.